Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, the podcast where we connect with influential business leaders to explore the strategies behind successful leadership, corporate governance, and decision making. I'm your host, Tanay All, and today we are honored to have with us Mr. Srikanth Pemmaraju. With over 16 years of experience in product management and business analysis, Sir has played a pivotal role in industries such as healthcare, pharma, and public sector. Currently, as a senior business analyst at Pharma Sales Hanker Analytics, he continues to drive impactful initiatives. Previously at Salesforce India, he was instrumental in leading projects that have shaped the healthcare and life sciences sectors. In today's discussion, Sir will be sharing his insights on managing complex product roadmaps, overcoming industry challenges, and leading teams to success. So, whether you're a business leader or someone aspiring to driving change, there's so much to learn from Sir's extensive experience. Sir, it is a pleasure to have you with us today and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders.
Yeah, thank you, Tani, for the warm introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here. Uh, Before I start with my professional journey, I would like to speak out a few words regarding my personal journey. As you already mentioned, that I have over 16 years of experience in the field of IT, working on different roles like business analyst and product management. So, what inspired me to get into IT was even I was not very sure that I will get into IT, but you always that there's always a path which is always defined for you. uh, my brother actually he got into computer science. So I think always like younger siblings will always look to your elder siblings to to lead that path. So I think somewhere like I can say like my brother has been instrumental in me choosing the same career as him and get into this field. And at a time when I was not even aware what does business analyst role entail, I just I always wanted to get into the management side of the IT, but not like say like the technical aspects of it. Even though I know the coding aspects of it, but I always imagine myself to be sitting on the management side of it. So I just thought like there's a fancy word which I heard that point of time, like in one of the articles, like business analyst plays a key role in the IT organization. So that I just thought like, yeah, this is something which I should start, and that's how I took up on my studies, and I did my bachelor's in information system knowledge, completed my with a master's in advanced information, master's in business administration in advanced information technology. So, and then I got placed into this service company called Carrier, which is now acquired by another company called Keen Solutions, which is again acquired by another company called NTT Data. So that is the part from the education plus the personal journey and why I started my role into IT. The other thing which I want to mention from the profession aspect is like my journey into this field has been like the reason for this is like a passion for problem solving and a curiosity to see how technology plays a key role to improve the complex business processes. Right, I began my career as a business analyst at Carrier Software, which is called NTT Data now, and where I first learned the importance of aligning technology with users and business needs, and how I can be serving as a bridge between the technology team and the business, right? So that early exposure of both client-facing roles and the backend systems play a key role in me actually understanding the nuances of product delivery, right? So over the years, I see myself like getting into strategic roles with working with different companies and the work like different industries, right? And I worked with all the major product companies. I worked with IBM. I worked with Salesforce. I worked with Velocity, and then I was also like with US for like a period of 1 year, working with the Department of Health and Human Services for their health insurance programs. So I also I was also instrumental in delivering key complex processes like 84 omni-channel processes when I was working with this. this company called Velocity, which was into Salesforce. So I was the lead of the public sector initiatives, and that's how like it shaped my career, like from the starting. And then I moved to healthcare when Salesforce acquired our company Velocity during the COVID. The transition happened, from playing a senior business analyst role to a more product oriented role into the health cloud department. So I became a product manager within the health cloud vertical of Salesforce, delivering solutions into the healthcare and life sciences. And I was able to deliver key milestones like achieving annual recurring revenue of $20 million in health cloud, and also like impacting the turnaround time of the product usage by 70%, and increasing the subscription by over 30%, right, during this time. So these are not just the numbers what I feel, and these reflect the bigger picture of having a deep connection between the user's needs, product design, and business growth. And some of the key challenges were translating the complex business needs to technical requirements, and translating them to in a way that the tech team can understand and develop the product, right. And then also like other challenge was, I since being in a global MNC, we are required to work with distributed teams across geographies. So I've been part of an initiative where like I had to deal with multiple stakeholders, internal as well as external. So this has been quite a exciting journey for me, interacting with different teams, product teams, design team, development team, tech team, and the architecture team, all distributed across geographies. And then again, the challenge with product development is always like evolving multiple stakeholder priorities, right, and evolving priorities. So requirements always keep changing during course of time. So navigating the interoperability and integration aspect is also another challenge which you face frequently in the IT industry. And uh, and ensuring the timely delivery of the features, and managing the backlogs of the requirements very efficiently. Those are the key challenges which I faced during this tenure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the other things which I would want to highlight here is like the major things in my journey has been like moving from a BA to a more strategic role like a product management with Salesforce, and secondly working into commercial pharma sales role, which is more focused on data analytics side of the development, right? And then also was instrumental in playing a key role with the go-to-market strategies by giving demos at the end of each sprint and delivery, and then giving the loop feedback, and enabling the sales team, right? I also got certified as a certified Scrum product owner, and also like I'm a Salesforce Trailhead Ranger, and also done a master's in certified global product management this program, right. So I also spearheaded the product delivery and roadmap and sprint delivery for pharma sector in the current role, and I've successfully led agile teams across different geographies, and delivered impactful features across multiple sprints and domains.
Lovely. So that's indeed a lovely 15-year or so journey that has transitioned across India to multiple sectors, to globally, right? It's
Yeah,
wonderful to hear, sir.
yeah, thank you.
Sir, reducing turnaround times of product features by 70% is a remarkable achievement. That kind
Mhm.
of transformation doesn't happen overnight. What key
Yes.
strategies did you put in place to make that happen? How did it change the way your teams collaborated and felt
Mhm.
about their work?
Yeah, thank you again for asking this question. It's very relevant in terms of whatever work I've done. Achieving 70% reduction in turnaround time was definitely a transformational milestone. And it was a result of both a strategic process change plus a cultural shift within the team. So let me take you with like how we have achieved that. Coming to some of the strategies that we implemented was like we have streamlined different agile processes. Like, so when I say like in an IT industry how it works, there are different frameworks to its work, right? And agile is one of the ways of achieving streamlined process for delivering a product or a service, right? So then there are other frameworks which different organizations adopt. Like this is a waterfall approach, which is a very traditional approach. Then we have an agile, which is like more feedback based and iterative and incrementally, like it keeps on evolving. Then there are like hybrid roles, which is a combination of both the waterfall plus agile framework. So these are different frameworks which different companies use based on the kind of nature of the project plus uh, nature of the project plus the budget plus timelines and the resources that we have, right? So like previously, when I started my career, it was like I had seen more of the waterfall approach in the first company. And then when I moved to transition my career to different product organizations, I have seen a shift from more traditional approach to a more agile approach, right? So agile has been the more in a kind of framework for most of the organizations because it leads to a very evolved product which is up to date with the market trends, right? And whereas if you work with a waterfall, that means like you should have to have entire set of requirements, top to bottom, uh, defined for each stage before you proceed to the next stage. So somewhere you feel like agile is gives the upper hand on that. So we try to streamline our agile processes, like try to make optimize our backlog grooming sessions, which we do at the beginning of each sprint, where we take the entire team through the like feature that we want to deliver in particular sprint, right? So, and then the sprint planning, and then subsequently the review ceremonies at the end of each sprint, like to see what has progressed and what has could not be achieved in the given time frame, right? So ensuring that priorities align both with customer value and business goals. So these are like very important aspects, right? When you look at the agile process. Agile process does not say that you have to work in a lot of documents. You don't keep a lot of documents like what we do in the waterfall model, but agile is like it's more quick. You create one set of documents, you identify the features that you want to work on, and then you deliver it, right? It's like iterative process. Like the more the early we get the feedback, the early we can rectify and update the features, right? And then integrating UI UX design early, right? By collaborating with the user interface designers, and early in the ideation phase, we try to minimize the rework, in terms of the issues that come up later in the stage while we develop a product or service, right? So we have reduced the accelerated. We have tried to accelerate the mock approvals, like the UI UX mockup. We create a prototype. The earlier, the sooner we create, the faster approvals we have got. And this has also improved the usability outcomes in terms of how the feature is going to look when we deliver that feature, right? And then we also like did something called feature modularization, when breaking, like when you have bigger stories and we break them into smaller manageable chunks so that it is easier to target and achieve that within particular sprint. Otherwise, if you just work on one complex requirement, then you'll not be able to justify the entire sprint, right? So in order to achieve the complex ones, and to also build parallelly, like the relevant pieces, we had to modularize uh, the sprint, right? And build that in that manner. And then we also try to achieve the stakeholder buy-in by getting the feedback early from the stakeholders. So we used to do the mid sprint demos and iterative feedback, so that we get the iterative feedback from the sales and the customer success team, which helped us validate the direction early and avoid late stage surprises. So coming to some of the challenges that we faced was the initial resistance from moving from the traditional approach to the agile delivery process, where we had to streamline a lot of things. So that was one of the initial challenges. Then the cross coordination of team. Sometimes when we interact with the cross collaborative teams, there's always a challenge of time zone and geography, right? So you always have to be mindful of what their working times are and what our working times are, right? So we normally tend to work with our Indian counterparts, so it doesn't matter to us. But again, when we are working across people across spread across geographies, it's been challenged to actually accommodate the timings that sync in both with your time and their time. So that has been one of the challenge. And the third thing which I would like to focus is like the technical depth and legacy dependency. Some features require cleaning up of the inherent foundation stack and clearing the architecture and trying to change some things in the data model, right? All these have to be handled in parallel so that we could deliver some great value to the customer. And coming back to the third aspect, which is the team motivation and cultural shift, right? As the process got mature, like whatever we defined before, like the agile process and all that, so team started to look see the benefits of moving to this process and see the value of the work got reflected in getting the real-time customer feedback, right? That is one thing. And based on this improvements, the team also started contributing better and creating more value, and like they felt a sense of ownership and recognition, and they started to become more proactive and taking initiative on product improvement and coming to planning sessions with more data insights and how they can avoid the issues that come up in each sprint, right? So they reduce the number of issues from this many to this many, right? So that has been one of the biggest team motivators. And if you look at the success, when I talk about success, it's not just about the numbers. It's also about how purposeful you felt while working together as a team, and how your efforts are being appreciated in your team. Nobody wants to get targeted for things that are not delivered, but they would always be like to get appreciated in the due course of time, right? So we always try to make sure that everybody's effort is actually counted, and the team is like more empowered and engaged, and one that is in sync with the user needs and business strategy. So the transformation definitely helped teams internally. Approach was adopted as best practice framework to newer product pods, right? So that's how I think I can summarize best whatever you are asked now.
Yeah, I think
So
very well
can
said. So, having worked on product management at business analysis and healthcare applications, you've had a direct impact on a sector that's so vital to people's lives. It must be incredibly rewarding to see your work making a difference in healthcare. So, what's been the most fulfilling part for you, knowing that the products you've led have played a role in improving patient care, streamlining processes, or even transforming the way healthcare is delivered?
Yeah, you are right. As you rightly said, like it's incredibly fulfilling to know that the work what we do in healthcare technology has a real world impact on people's lives, right? Over the years, I have led products that have directly improved health outcomes and optimized care deliveries and made a meaningful difference to both providers and payers, right? So how we achieve that is like, at Salesforce, having extensively worked on health cloud solutions. Uh, I have worked on some of the challenging projects like appointment management, individual and Medicare plans and distribution management. Some of the challenging areas which I would have worked and contributed. So these tools, help allow patients access the tools, right? Providing care in a optimized way, helping reduce missed appointments, or they improve the coverage transparency and enabling timely interventions. For example, if I look at, like, if I can quote some example, like, as I said, like our enhancements led to 30% in increase in health cloud product subscriptions, right? since you know that Salesforce is a SaaS based model, that is software as a service. So we have different data models for each industry and each vertical. So Health Cloud is a vertical where I was working, and my focus was to uh, deliver products and services that cater to the providers and payers segment, right? So in order to do so, like how do you do that? You know, when you build uh, features that customer values, right? And is very strategic from their like business perspective. Then you can see like whatever we are delivering and the value, if they keep see the value in the product, then the subscription will get increased. But again, all this will take a lot of effort in terms of strategizing how what kind of features to be put into the product and how the client is valuing the features, right? So getting 30% adoption is not an easy task, knowing the complexity of the business, right? So having said that, this helps us, providing broader access to care and patient engagement through our health cloud subscriptions. We also did like some efforts on the interoperability and integration side by integrating with the latest set of FHIR data models uh, that unify the fragmented patient data and improve the outcomes of care. And coming to the second aspect, that is how we impact on the providers and payers, right? For providers, these solutions are meant to have more accurate patient insights, faster services, workflows, and fewer administrative hiccups. So clinicians, the clinical people or clinicians, what you call in the US healthcare industry, they focus more on care and less on the systems, right? Because they are not tech savvy. So they are more functional. So if you can provide a system that is more easy and not complex, then the adaptability also increases in that sense by 100 times, right? So for payers, like how do they see it is like because they want to streamline the eligibility, automation process, streamline the onboarding of the patients, and reduce turnaround time for claim related workflows. So which is very critical in today's competitive insurance environment, right? So that is the impact on the providers and payers. Then coming to my previous company, like before I got into Salesforce, we worked with Salesforce, which is again like into different verticals, and then I was leading the public sector effort. So like there we had built some pre-configured business process for each vertical. So which is like a set of small chunks of pieces that can be fitted into a puzzle, and you can deliver one particular solution together with a like turnaround time of 70%. Like you can just take it and plug it just with minimal changes, right? And minimal changes which would also save your cost and your effort. So one moment that stands out for me in terms of all these things is like when I was in US, I was like with the Department of Health and Human Services, where like I was working with the health insurance program side of it, like of from the government side. So we had like a lot of onboarding and eligibility, kind of processes like for the health insurance, right? So there was an issue like with the system once, and then we had resolved 600 plus eligibility cases during critical cycle for our clients' health insurance exchange, right? And see, getting access to health insurance is one of the critical aspects in US industry, right? If you don't have health insurance, you don't get a treatment in any hospital in US. So if many people lose their eligibility of getting their health insurance, so you know how much significant impact it will have on the economy, plus the members, right, who are like who are trying to get the patient care, right? So that has been one of the fulfillment because we try to make sure that people are able to get their eligibility and get the kind of remuneration for the same for getting treatment, right? Yeah, and what one more thing which I would want to highlight is like when I work across IT, right, I can see there's always like the fulfilling part with IT is like we are at the intersection of technology, empathy, and impact, right? So where we design or improve processes, like it has the potential to impact people to get better care and more efficiently, and that is a legacy that I'm proud of.
Yeah, true, sir. Very well said. I think your last line summed it up extremely well. Sir, healthcare technology has been evolving at an incredible pace, and we're seeing more and more how AI and machine learning are playing a pivotal role in shaping the future of patient management and care. With your experience in the field, how do you see these technologies transforming the way healthcare professionals approach patient care in the coming years?
Yeah, that's a very valid question. Looking at our technology keeps changing every few years, right? So currently the trend is to go with the AI. So AI and machine learning are already transforming patient care, and we are just scratching the surface. There's a lot of things we are yet to explore, and it's still evolving, right? But how companies are integrating AI into their products is what that will make an impact on how far they will go ahead in this game of AI and the strategy, right? So, in my experience, essentially working on platforms like Salesforce has cloud has already seen firsthand knowledge of integrating smart technologies, right, and healthcare workflows into which can dynamically improve the way we you know see the precision and personalization and proactivity in the care delivery. So if you look at how AI and ML, that is artificial intelligence and machine learning, is prioritizing transforming the patient care, I would like to give some pointers to that. First, being there's predictive analytics for early intervention, right? AI-driven insights are enabling providers to identify high-risk patients before the symptoms escalate, right? So you can actually predict before the onset of a disease, right? So this precision and proactiveness provides, uh, things so that we can manage the emergency situations in a much better fashion, and it will also help us in delivering better care and better long-term outcomes. So coming back to the second point, which is like personalized care plans. So ML is so advanced now, and people are exploring ways to use ML in their day-to-day life. So ML algorithms can now analyze the patient history. There was a time when everything was done manually, and they had to look at their records manually and come to some kind of insight, right? But again, now with AI and ML in the forefront of technology, now all this can happen at a single click, where you can access the patient history insights in a much efficient and optimized manner. And you can also do some genomic studies like on the DNA and the history of the particular family, right? And how you can avoid the particular diseases, right? And how you can change their lifestyle and to a more healthy ways, right? And previously it was just move you know one size fits all kind of strategy, we're just we just say okay, I am going to treat all these cases kind of patients in one way only. But with ML into the forefront, now you can get to know the specific issues with each particular set of patients, and you don't have to do a one size fits all strategy. And coming to the next point, that is you can automate the workflows in a much efficient and optimized fashion. So how AI is doing is like it will streamline the approval process. Like prior, when you get admitted to a hospital, right? They will check your insurance. The first thing that they do is they need approval to actually proceed with your procedure, right? So AI will actually streamline that process so that your authorization approval come much faster than what used to happen previously, right? In the traditional approach. So that is where like clinicians don't have to spend much time on waiting for the approvals, and and they can do this much faster and get the give the patient the needed care in a faster way, right? That is regarding the automated workflows. Coming back to the last point in the AIML, there is something called natural language processing. Like it's a way where you can in healthcare you have a lot of terms, lot of strategies, a lot of documents to look at, a lot of reports to look at, and how do you identify the trends and insights, right? By looking at all that humongous set of data. It's not a human task, right? So the way NLP helps is by identifying the patterns within all these set of documents that are related to each other, and building an insight out of that, meaningful insight out of that huge set of data, right? So that is one of the other aspects which I wanted to mention. Coming back to future trends, there are a lot of things that can still be achieved, but we are still at the forefront of AI and ML, and so there's a lot of scope for them to improve. So what I see, where I see like AI and ML helping us going forward is they can build virtual health assistants and chatbots. They can do AI augmented diagnostics. They can do real-time remote monitoring nowadays. If when you look at the pandemics like COVID, which has affected us in a huge way, where people could not get access to healthcare, and they were they were home, they were at home. So real-time remote monitoring by doctors and suggesting the right kind of medication, and the diagnostics can always go a long way in building the AI features, right, into the healthcare. And they can also do this genomic and precision matching, where they study the genes of the patient, and then they try to avoid this set of diseases by doing those kind of explorative studies. And some challenges which I would like to highlight is even though like AI and ML is doing a very good job at leveraging the technology and reducing the turnaround times for patient care and access, and providing qualitative uh, data and inputs for decision making. There are some things that are still evolving. Sometimes you'll see the bias in algorithms with respect to AI ML tools. So what ChatGPT may do may not be achieved in some other tool. What other tool does may not be achieved in ChatGPT. So there is always some kind of bias in the system, right, which has to be accounted for, right? And so with the data set, with the diverse set of data, the training, the LLM models have to be trained, and so that the margin for error is very minimal, right? So this is an area where there's a lot of work is going on, and we are yet to see how things will improve over time. Then there is a challenge regarding data privacy and compliance, right? See, normally regulated industries like healthcare, pharma, or public sector, which are more from the government side, they don't want to part with their data because of the security and privacy concerns. Suppose a patient healthcare data is exposed to public. Think of what all things. If somebody knows that they have AIDS and other people come to know, then they'll start stigmatizing those patients, right? So all those things are a serious concern for these regulated industries. So we have to see how AI is evolving in terms of data privacy and compliance, right? So that is one area which has to be, you have to watch, right? And then there's the adoption resistance. Like most of the people are averse to changes, right? When systems was not there previously and people are doing all the manual work, there's always a resistance to move to the system side of it. Like when things were started to move towards the manual to automation, there was a resistance. So there will always be resistance at each stage of the technology. So even adopting AI/ML will come with its own set of uh, challenges. So unless you are training people in the organization to handle the AI and ML, nothing will work,
Yeah.
right?
It's like any new technology.
Any new technology. So you always have to upskill your employees so that they don't feel out of place, or they don't have the fear of that losing their employment because the technology is progressing, right? So they also have to be one step ahead of technology, because it is not the technology that is driving the humans; it is the humans that are behind the technology. So always make sure to remember that even AIML is coming and evolving, optimizing many things. It is the human's brain that goes behind creating that kind of rules and languages and the systems.
Yeah.
So system cannot override the humans at any point of time. No matter how much intelligent they get, it is the humans who are far more intelligent than the systems.
So you've had such an impactful career so far, and it's clear that you're shaping the future of healthcare technology. So looking ahead, what are some of your personal aspirations for the next few roles? And on a broader scale, how do you envision your role evolving in the boardroom, especially as organizations continue to navigate these rapidly changing industries?
Thank you. I truly appreciate that you asked that. The healthcare technology space is actually undergoing a monumental change, and I feel fortunate to have contributed meaningfully to that evolution. Looking ahead, my aspirations are grounded in deepening the impact both at a product innovation level and a strategic leadership level in the boardroom. So what where I see, if you look at my personal aspirations, I see driving scalable innovations in healthcare. I want to lead or influence the creation of digital healthcare platform that go beyond the traditional EHRs,
Right.
solutions that proactively support preventive care or wellness ecosystems and population health management using data, AI, and user-centric design. Secondly, I would also want to champion the interoperability standards. I'm passionate about solving one of the healthcare biggest hurdles, that is fragmented data systems. As of now, if you look at healthcare, they're spread across wide traditional legacy systems. Bringing all the data together, integrating all those into one efficient system is always a challenge. So I would want to make sure that these hurdles are removed going forward. And whether it's a fire or whether it's the HL7 or other frameworks that are the foundation of all these healthcare systems, I would like to drive the industry collaboration and adoption of standards that truly benefit both patients and providers. Coming to the third point, I would also love to mentor future product leaders. Having grown through the diverse roles across domains, I'd like to give back by coaching emerging leaders, particularly in the product, user design, and business analysis. Those who are solving real problems at scale. So this is the personal aspiration that I have. Coming to the evolving role in boardroom. So if you look at the boardroom, right, there's a strategy that always plays a role. So I want to lead that strategic initiatives, to lead the tech transformations. As a non-executive director, I see my role as a strategic compass, helping organizations navigate complex decisions on digital investments, platform modernization, and AI adoption with a long-term lens, right? Secondly, balancing innovation with governance, I aim to bring a balanced perspective, pushing for bold innovation, and while ensuring both ethical, secure, and regulatory compliant practices, right? Particularly in the sensitive industries like healthcare. And the third point, which I would like to focus from the board level role, is like championing the customer centricity and outcome based models. Right? So my boardroom contribution would center around enforcing a value-based care philosophy and aligning the product outcomes and patient satisfaction and provider efficiency and payer return of investment, right? And the third aspect which I would look at from the boardroom perspective is like future-proofing organization talent and culture. As technology changes rapidly, I want to help boards think about upskilling, adaptability, and inclusive leadership, ensuring that organizations are equipped to thrive in a digital first, patient centric world. So, in essence, I would see myself evolving from a builder of solutions to a shaper of strategy. I used to build solutions, now I build strategy. So, someone who helps the organizations providing to keep up with the changes and to build it responsibly and meaningfully.
Lovely. Lovely, sir. I think that's lovely that you want to make that change, because now boardrooms need people who are aware of technology and understand how it works and where it is going in the future. So, corporate governance is a key pillar in steering organizations towards long term success, especially in fast evolving sectors like healthcare technology. Given your extensive experience in product management and leadership, how do you see corporate governance influencing the way healthcare companies operate today?
Yeah, thank you for this question, Tana. So, in healthcare, the stakes are quite high. We are not just managing software or services, we are influencing the health outcomes, patient safety, and in many cases, lives, right? So, we are affecting human lives. It's not just about the, you know, providing an efficient services like, providing a system to manage things. But again, how and how much value we are providing is going to show up when we are actually building systems that will deliver some value to the public at scale. So that's why strong governance isn't just about just a regulatory necessity, right? It is a moral imperative from my perspective. So ensuring ethical innovation, right? With the rise of AI, machine learning, and data-driven platforms, governance frameworks must ensure that products are developed with transparency and accountability. Your algorithm should be auditable, unbiased, and ethically sound. And patient data is secured in a responsible way, right? Aligned with the major regulations like HIPAA or GDPR or emerging AI ethics standards. So, having led cross-functional teams working on file integration, data model, and health cloud solution, I understand how critical it is to build checks and balances into product development, ensuring compliance from day one, rather than just as an afterthought, right? So it's not like just we are just doing it for the sake of doing it, and like we'll just don't have an afterthought of why we are doing it, right? So that is very important. Secondly, we drive strategy clarity and risk management, right? Why are different things what we do? So corporate government plays a very crucial role in aligning the product strategy with organization mission and long-term value. It helps prioritize investments in innovation versus operational scalability. Secondly, if you look at the risk assessment strategy when adopting emerging technologies, we should always be careful about what risk come with what technology, right? So AI has still a bias, so we have to make sure that that bias is reduced. Then adoption is one thing. How do you address the concerns of data privacy and security? That is one concern with the technology, right? So always have to make sure that all these things are addressed for the optimal use of the technology and adoption, right? And then the board level visibility into patient safety, cybersecurity, and product liability is also one of the things we would want to prioritize, right? So as a board member, I see my role bridging the product and governance, helping boards ask the right questions like, is the product truly improving outcomes? Are we future proofing our compliance? So these kind of things would definitely help from a board perspective to make sure that we are delivering on every like thing, like including the compliance and governance, and not just the system per se. Thirdly, we would want to build more trust with the stakeholders, right? In healthcare, trust is the center of everything, not just with the patients or the providers or the payers and partners. So, good governance must ensure that the company maintains clear code of conduct and ethical policies, right? So, it should also make sure there is a transparency when you're trying to communicate with all the stakeholders. They should not hide any details or hide any things that are not very well placed, right? with the long-term vision. So it should always be transparent. Make sure that things are transparent always in the boardroom, and it also holds leadership accountable for upholding patient first principles. So you always want to make sure that you're not there for the profit. You always want to ensure that the patient is the first priority when it comes to providing these kind of solutions that will affect human lives in a bigger way. And coming to the last aspect, which is the broader organization impact on how these things will impact, right? So effective governance will only lead to sustainable growth because decisions are made with long-term vision, not short-term goals. Secondly,
So,
talent retention. It helps the talent retention where employees feel more aligned with the company that values ethics and transparency. Thirdly, investor confidence, especially in a high risk, high reward sectors like healthcare. So, having said all these things, I would like to close this with this thought that in the fast evolving sectors like healthcare, corporate governance is not just a speed bump; it is a guardrail that allows you to accelerate confidently. So, my goal as a future board member is to ensure that innovation and integrity grow together and create solutions that are not only cutting edge but also responsible and resilient.
perfectly put, sir. I think corporate governance is the time of the hour, and it is important that for a wholesome development of a company and of all the people in it, I think, like you wonderfully put it, it is the most important step now. So, you've recently joined Directors Institute, and it's always exciting to see leaders like yourself connect with such a dynamic platform. From your perspective, how has your experience been so far, and how do you feel the courses and community here are adding value to your personal professional growth?
Yeah, even though see, I had some knowledge about this uh, board member role, but I never imagined myself to be joining that role. And having always thought that I would lead management at some point of time as a senior role, like a director or a non-independent or independent or non-executive director role. So this is something which I really value. Uh, I just stumbled upon this advertisement about a boardroom, and then somehow I got fascinated by the role, and I thought let me attend this webinar and get to see like what is in store for me. So uh, I started my journey in December last year for this program, and I could say they have got a very extensive program, like a lot of extensive content. So I have some. There are different kinds of programs which they offer for the students. One of them being International Corporate Governance Program (ICDP). Then there are programs like ACDP and some other programs that are also working the same lines. But again, one is a Indian context, one is a global context. So I have subscribed to the global context that is the ICDP program, and I'm preparing to get certified with IICA, which is a certification body for the Ministry of Corporate Affairs in India. So I see this course as very valuable for somebody who's actually envisioning themselves to play crucial roles uh, with a diverse set of experiences. So it's very well structured. They have provided an online platform where you can actually go through the different modules. So there are three different modules which we have to complete before we are eligible to become certified as a board member. So one is the ICDP module, which is talking about the Indian context. One is the environmental and social governance (ESG) module, and one is the digital directors program, which is talking about the leading technology trends and how you can leverage your knowledge in the of the technology in the boardroom. So all this combined gives a very global and local perspective to your boardroom role, and this is a very valuable course, and definitely people who are interested in playing a crucial role into the management side of it, like if they don't want to get into the organic growth, they can also give a hand at the non-executive independent director role from Directors Institute, which is a flagship program, and I'm happy with the way that it's going on. But then there also I can also I since this course is like it's like not very long and it's evolving. So I would also like to give like some minor feedbacks here. So what I see like there's a scope for improvement on how the things are delivered. Right now we have the contact classes with the faculty. So the faculty is really good, and especially if you talk about the ICDP module and the ESG module, which is taken by Mr. Sundareshan sir, who is a very like eminent faculty here. His classes are really exciting and interesting, and look forward to each of the sessions. Then then there are some initiatives that are like being done for the students, like in terms of getting board positions. So I see the scope to improve upon there. We have a platform which is like the board search AI, which got recently launched. I could see like there's more scope of improvement in terms of the hand holding that is being done to the students, and that can help a long way in getting satisfied students and satisfied boardroom members in the long run. And I'm really happy the way the Directors Institute, in collaboration with Directors Council, is playing a major role in shaping the role of board members across the globe. And I wish them all the best for this endeavors.
Thank you so much for those kind words, sir. And that's all we have time for today. And I have to say that it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Your perspective on leadership, corporate governance is truly inspiring, sir.
Yeah.
It's clear that you're truly shaping the future of business in your field, and I know our listeners have learned a lot from your journey and expertise. So, thank you so much once again for sharing your time and insights with us. To our wonderful audience, thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey. It's conversations like these that remind us the power of great leadership and the impact it can have on shaping industries and communities. So, we always keep loving to hear back from you and would really appreciate your feedback. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember that leadership is not just what you do, but also about the positive change you inspire in others. So stay tuned for our next episode, and as always, lead with purpose and have fun on your journey. Thank you so much.